Hello, and happy Thanksgiving if you live in the US. My name is Mars, and welcome back to Saltsea Chronicles. We are on our way to Sisao to fix Iris's radio and improve our comms, and investigate musings or rumors of the Indigo ship. But first we need to look around what's on DeKelpie. Merle looks out at the Merle looks out at the magnificent bulk of Sisao and scribbles a satisfied note in his log of their journey just thus far. Molpe sings a bright lullaby to Ade, turning Annette's vision over in her mind. DeKelpie is looking more and more lived in, from Merle's newly assembled library and Ade's toy shelf to Iris's array of tools. Off balance, Neshko is drumming his fingers on the table. Having taken the bulk of the helm time on the journey to Sisao, something is bothering him. Can't be the repairs. Everything I worked on before we went to the float seemed normal. What is it then? Neshko closes his eyes and spreads his hands wide on the table surface. Something's off. DeKelpie's not moving as it should. Neshko's face sets into a frown as his eyes open. Like there's another factor in how it sits in the water. Alright. All aboard. Iris stands at the helm, gazing over at Sisao, gently patting DeKelpie's portable array strung over their shoulder as usual. Okay, friend. Let's get you patched up. They tilt their head back to look up at Sisao, trying to get the whole thing in their field of vision. This is it. I know it. We're going to get the radio fixed. And find Maya. A deep breath. Time to set foot in a new community for the first time. What can we learn about that stowaway? Oh, there they are. That shadow. Were they there before? I didn't notice them before. Wow. Okay. Yes, the last time we learned that there is also a stowaway on DeKelpie, who only Iris seems to know about. The place to be. Merle watches Iris as they gaze at Sisao with evident excitement. It's a very ancient community, I hear. A marvel. Sure, tradition. But they're the biggest repository of radio tech in the whole archipelago. And the ratters here, wow! They're certainly second to none when it comes to such technology. Iris nods firmly. They're my people, I know it. Merle smiles. Iris is impatient to get going. It's heartening to see you so energized. Iris only nods, craning to get a better view. Caring the most. Molpe is changing Ade in the cabin when Iris shouts down to her from DeKelpie's helm. Yeah. Molpe? Molpe! Ade giggles. Molpe hitches the newly changed Ade onto her hip and sticks her head out of the hatch. I can hear you clear as day, Iris. No need to shout. Oh, okay. Everything okay? I just wanted to say, I know you wanted to go to the Grace, but this is where we need to be. For the ship. Maya would have... Iris. Please, don't. Is this why you called me out here? Ade burbles. I don't want to argue. I just wanted to say, I promise I'm going to try. You're not the only one who cares for her. She's the first person who ever saw me, you know? Molpe's face is pained, but all Iris sees is her silence. We'll find her, okay? I know we will. A pause. Okay. Go fix her radio. Molpe hitches Ade again and heads back to their bunk. And Stu, chasing sheep, Stu dreams fretfully in her bunk. Lady Flufflebutt? Stu starts awake. I think that's one of her cats. She realizes where she is, letting out a sigh of frustration. Rusting radios. Okay, she's speaking Eshkol, I believe, is that language. That's the language of her island. When we have a whole dream that could have been interpreted. Stu grumbles, having had personal reasons for wanting to sail to the Grace. Oh. What did Celeste say again? In through the nose, hold. Out through the mouth. She breathes in and holds it until a vein on her temple pulses, before letting it out in one huge puff. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Stu, and I'm sorry, Mulpay. The vast, long-stranded hull of Sisao looms over the Kelpie, casting deep shadows as it blocks out the sun. Alright. Ready to leave? Are you ready to proceed with crew selection and visit Sisao? Yes. It's time to proceed. Who's going? Iris holds the Kelpie's damaged portable array in their hands. I can go ashore. I can do this. They look at the crew, daring anyone to disagree. You've let us here, Puckle. You'd better be able to. Iris bites their lip. They're the best people to fix the radio. And have you seen that mast? That concentrations of contraptions emerging from the hull looks considerably... It looks amazing. Aye, but not a dream sailor to be found, I'll bet.
Listen.
Enough. We made this decision as a crew. Time to stop arguing about it. Look at Ade. They look so happy. You say there's radio experts here, Iris? Bratters, the best. Right. Then while you're getting our radio fixed, get out a call. A call from Maya. Broadcast as far as you can. Iris nods, determined. And take someone to help you. Iris's face falls. Stu folds her arms. Of course, we mustn't forget to follow the trail of the silent ship. I don't think that Annette's dream will really be something we can follow up on here if there are no dream sailors. They say Sisao has a repository of ancient technology. Perhaps they can shed light on its mysterious appearance. I guess. I should accompany you, of course. I can make an accurate log of the customs and tales of this fine vessel. Neshko scratches his beard. I could do with a stretch. New sights, new air. If you'll have me. Mulpay nods.
Okay.
Right then, Iris. It's your mission. Patch up your radio, put out a call, and follow Maya's trail. Yeah, I can do this. They swallow. I can definitely do this. Your mission, Puckle. So who'll it be? I kind of hope for Stu. Alright, so let's see. Sisao. A capsized ship grounded on two old mountaintops. With onboard gardens and ancient tech, Sisao is self-sustaining. An insular community, but excellent in all matter scientific, with the largest known radio array of the whole of Saltsea. On Sisao, the main languages are Pata and Mintan. Alright, so... Mulpay isn't one to sulk, so there's probably a better word for why she's not interested in exploring Sisao. Stu's bones are aching too much for a walk around the rusted old ship. Okay. Neshko is eager to join this expedition, but he just shrugs when asked why. I hear it's a very closed community, hardly ever gets visitors. Neshko speaks Plata. Merle speaks Plata and an archaic version of Old Tongue. Not a place Merle has visited before, but a fascinating subculture that few have a chance to explore. I believe the social structures revolve around a historical handbook of some kind. Fascinating. And only a few days ago, visiting somewhere like this would have been the stuff of Iris's dreams. I know I can do this. I know I can. These are my people, ratters like me. Alright, they speak Mintan. Okay. So, we've already done Iris and Merle together. So let's take Neshko. I also want to take Neshko Just because I'm so curious, he just shrugs when asked why. You're so mysterious, Neshko. Why are you like this? I feel like this will... I wanted to take Stu because I feel like Stu is a good mother figure to Iris and she would make her feel more comfortable. But, you know, between Neshko and Merle, Iris is probably more comfortable with Merle now, but I wanna see a different connection between two different people, a different dynamic, and I want to learn more about Neshko. So we're going with Iris and Neshko. Alright. What's this way? Oh, someone stopped us. I wanted to go as far left as I could. The Grand Tour. A frowning figure dressed in a garish red hat steps in front of Iris and Neshko, blocking their path. Hello! Hey! Did you not see me? They are unsure of what to say. The figure composes herself and takes a deep breath. Welcome, Sani, Sisao head steward at your service. A low status role established as part of Sisao's book of rules and regulations, usually given to misfits. Oh, great. Sani's enthusiasm feels forced. Iris and Neshko glance at each other. You'll be wanting the Grand Tour, of course. Actually, radio? Sani opens her mouth to continue, but Iris is quicker off the mark. Radio! We're here for the, ratters. Sani pauses, her pasted-on grin replaced by a more conventional expression. Of course. Surf the waves yourself, do you? Iris puffs out their chest. Best on my island. They suddenly deflate. I mean, there wasn't anyone else. I did a weekly bulletin on transistor specifications. I'll stop you there, kiddo. Can't follow a thing. I leave that to the radio room.
Okay.
How do we get there? Please? Eager. I like it. Well then, a whistle-stop tour will do, and you can see the radios along the way. Iris looks at Neshko. Do we have to do the tour bit? Whistle-stop. So is there a map for the tour, or I'll be guiding you. Can't have any old visitor just wandering off. Big ship, lots of rusty bits. Not that we're trying to hide anything. A cloud crosses Sandy's face and the grin persists. It's my honor to guide all the guests. Rusty bits? But you have a lot of tech, right? That's not rusty? Sandy has the distinct look of someone struggling to remember the script. She falls back on the basics. Sandy, Sisao head steward at your service.
Let's go!
Let's go! The Grand Sisao Tour, Highlights Edition. First we'll head to the ship's belly. She gestures ahead. Please go on, up past this bar and by that large propeller. Then take the ladder down and the ship's belly will be just ahead. Don't worry, I'll be right behind you. Just got some things to attend to. Neshko offers a polite smile. Iris just looks bewildered. As they move on, Iris stands on their tiptoes to whisper to Neshko. Are all non-Yarfi folk like that? I guess that, Neshko did live on Yarfi for a while. So it's not that they wouldn't know each other, I guess. All people are unique. And some even more so. Alright. Is there other stuff to look at here? Oh my god, it's a tourist trap, this place. A few neat gardens grow crops for the ship's community. A bright, unusual fragrance is carried on by the brisk sea breeze. The rope ladder seems reasonably secure. As secure, at least, as a rope ladder scaling the entire height of an upended ship could be. Sea creatures. Iris and Neshko rest halfway up the ladder. Iris fixes their gaze on rough outcroppings on the hull above. Those are the biggest knuckles I've ever seen. May we all find a home so strong and nourishing. Hard to believe this was a ship. How did they even make a hull this big? How big were the sails? The world before was built on a different scale. No wonder it sank. The Jahrmeister says the world before is better off sunk. That trying to raise it risked the flood's return. The flood washed away even the truth of how it came to rise. Flood only knows. Oh, is that why they say that? Iris looks thoughtful, then shrugs. Onwards and upwards? They keep climbing. Okay, they seem to get along. These two. Okay. So these are the things we have to do. Follow Sanny. Room of devices down for the belly of the ship. Alright. Harnessing the radio array. Yes. Merle is disappointed not to get the rare chance to explore the closed-off community of Sisao. Uh-oh. Alright, what do we get? A pet Poro. I thought we already got that. I thought this was a Poro for some reason. I don't know. Alright. So there's Sisao, and we missed out on... Oh god, I forget what it's called already. The Grace. Alright, let's go this way, I guess. A vast propeller towers over the upturned hull. Polished daily, it casts a warm bronze light across the ship below. A marvelous song. A woman with extremely impressive hair is mumbling lines of music to herself. I love her outfit. She looks so cool. She looks up brightly as Iris and Neshko approach. Darlings, visitors, marvelous. You've come to watch my gala performance, of course. Word has spread across the seas. I'm guessing you're currently enjoying Sanny's grand tour. You'll need to finish that first. Then come and see me. I'm on in an hour in the ballroom. Its name suggests that balls were valued items in pre-flight culture, and they were perhaps exhibited in this room. Oh my god. What's your face? Guy? I forget his name. You're absolutely right. We love balls before the flood. You sing? I do love music. Iris fidgets, agitated. Do we really have to take the whole tour? It's just, Peeble Vondre, that's the guy's name. Alright, it just came to me. It's just, we only need to fix our radio. Vivian smiles, unblinking. But everyone must take the tour. Can't just let anyone wander about unsupervised. We have standards, darling. Neshko notices that Iris looks upset. Perhaps the radio room is included in this, tour? Of course, darling, it's one of our wonders. Alongside my performance of the mother's songs, of course. The mother's songs? Darling, you are speaking to the daughter of an unbroken line of the finest entertainers these islands have ever heard. Vivian pops up with pride. Even her hair seems to grow in volume. I mean, Iris is probably bored, Neshko is probably charmed, because he's a romantic and she's very pretty. Sounds enchanting. Neshko. Vivian, it's been a pleasure. I hope to see you again, but for now we shall move on. Yes, just pop yourselves down the ladder and Sanny will see to you. See you soon, darlings, don't be late. Sailing over the golden sun, passengers on the ship of... No, that's not right. Mother of singers, where is my memory? Like a fish. A Sisaoan in a strange, bulky suit dangles a fish in front of a young Poro, training it in several key fish-herding commands. An intelligent aquatic reptile with a friendly and eager disposition, often trained to herd and harvest fish. Iris and Merle approach. Excuse me. The helmet turns toward Iris and cups a hand to their ear. Excuse me, we need to fix a radio. Suit pauses for a moment, then points to Sandy, who immediately pretends not to be watching. Iris points to the Puropuro, seeking permission. The suit nods. Iris kneels down and strokes his long, scaly neck. Are you a good little fish herder? I bet you are. I bet you are. Neshko shuffles uncomfortably. He's good with birds, but less so with reptiles. Iris tickles the Puropuro's belly, ignoring its very fishy breath. The Puropuro is delighted. Oh, good. I wish I could dream sail, but Captain Edwina is the only dream sailor around. I've got to entertain the passengers instead, so there is a dream sailor on this boat. Maybe later? Neshko looks over at the card players curiously. What? Oh. I like spoils, that's all. I'm quite good at it usually. Iris looks around and spots Sandy hiding ineffectually behind a propeller blade. I don't think we'll, get away with it. Got to finish the tour. Neshko nods sadly. Living history. Close up, the full size of the propeller is astonishing. Neshko is moved. A little understood component, sometimes found as part of pre-flood seafaring technology. Ships now don't even have propellers? Oh my god. Beautiful. What is it? It is beautiful. What was it? Neshko shrugs. One purpose sinks, another rises. Does anyone know what it did? Seems weird. One does not need to fathom everything in order to feel something. Iris watches the light glint off its blades. They look a little like a bird's wings. It was called the Oasis, but now it says Sisao. Now and then, Sandy appears in the shadows. How she's getting around mostly unseen is bewildering. As they climb down another vertiginous ladder, Neshko pauses to stare at the gigantic painted name of Sisao. Something's making him uneasy. Neshko begins to laugh. Got it. Neshko chuckles and turns his head to the side. See? Iris does the same and then groans. The Oasis. You see how the A is upside down? I got an achievement for that. They got the name wrong. Sandy suddenly appears at their elbows. It's traditional. Can we... A name from before the flood gifted us Sisao as it is now. No, that's not right, is it? Rust, officers won't be happy. Wherever it came from, Sisao sounds cooler anyway. Sandy smiles weakly. Anyway. Sandy claps a hand each on Iris's and Neshko's backs. They both flinch. A fine thing to have two passengers to show around. We're not... Bit of new life, that's the ticket. She slaps a bell on a nearby empty desk, and it rings out loud in the empty, threadbare space. Massive bells that once announced the ship's presence now hang awkwardly, as if aware of their current lack of purpose. The bright brass reception bell has been placed on the platform. It has been polished so many times it's almost transparent in places. Ugh. I thought I had to sneeze for a second. Oh. We can ring the bells ourselves, though. There's the radio room, but we have to go here first. I'm sure. It's part of the tour. Here in the belly of the ship, great old machines loom over the people below. Vast pipes line the floor, and above, the shining devices hang between makeshift gantries. Sandy leaps out from an unknown crevice and starts speaking in a titular tone. The belly of the ship! This is the room of devices. She returns to a more normal voice. Heart of the ship, treasure of Sisao, so on and so forth. Gesturing towards the humming machines, Iris asks,
Huh.
"But, like, what are they?"
Uh-huh.
"These are the grizzled head mechanic coughed loudly. "Devices. They're the devices. Gervas. And we don't talk about them with outsiders." "But it's a classic part of the tour." "Used to be. Back when there were passengers to tour with." Sandy's shoulders sink. "Look, I know you miss being here, but..." He remembers he has an audience and frowns, speaking just to Sandy. "She's gone." The devices or the missing? Neither of them seem like the kind to pry, so... The sheer scale! He's still dazed by it all, but Iris is paying attention. "Who's gone?" "It's none of your business." He's bubbling over with anger now. "Centuries of knowledge, blueprints, manuals, all taken. What's left is only in our heads." "Oh, someone else who went on the Indigo ship, I'm sure." "And how long will that last, He glares at Sandy. "Happy, are you?" "It wasn't me, it was Mandy." Iris backs away, confused by the shouting.
Hey.
"Stop it!" Sandy turns away from the grumbling mechanic. "I'm so sorry. Let's move on. The bridge, yes. The bridge is a good place to go next." Crashes and clangs of metal on metal ring out from great contraptions, like two mechanical orchestras in a wrestling match. Gremlins in the piston array, perhaps? Nothing a lashing of grease won't solve. Reckon the shaft's accumulating fine oxidation again. Could be keeping the bearings from turning over. Did these people actually know what they're talking about? Or are they just, like, making stuff up? Because these are, like, old parts of a ship that don't do anything anymore. They're just making stuff up. Sandy is eager for them to move on. "Who's Mandy?" Sandy shakes her head. "It's just a friend of ours is missing too. Maya. One day she was just gone." Sandy looks up. "A dream told us to. A dream isn't evidence." Neshko realizes dreams might not hold sway here. Should we push Sandy or just be kind? I mean... I feel like push is the Iris option here and reassure is the Neshko option. And Iris is a little shaken right now by the screaming, so we understand, of course, if there are things you cannot say. Sandy glances over at the head mechanic, who is working at his bench but clearly listening. "Mandy is my sister. I just miss her, that's all." Gervas can be heard to mutter "traitor" in the background. The bridge. We should go." Okay. The bridge. Ooh, a nice little bar. Best not to think too hard about the stability of the bridge's glass, but what an incredible view. Yeah, the bridge is usually up top, but now it's underwater. The deep ocean currents rock against the hull like a lullaby. Good for sleep, bad for doing a day's work. Voyages and dreams. The drowsy captain of Sisao, Edwina, snaps to attention at Iris and Neshko's approach. "Hello, welcome to the bridge. As captain of Sisao, I wish you a long and fruitful journey with us." What? 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 It's a captain thing. One of the earliest amendments to the handbook. Some think in the very first few years after the flood. Neshko is impressed. Iris less so. We're not passengers. We're just here to fix our radio. Apparently we have to do this grand tour before that. Captain Edwina's face falls. Oh, I see. What? It's certainly a big responsibility to be in charge of a ship this size. The captain straightens up and smiles. Our ancestors sailed around the world before the flood, and one day we will sail again. Until then, I practice in dreams. She gestures to her ornate desk, which is covered in teetering piles of sketches, nautical charts, and a lot of empty plates. Iris picks up a piece of paper. A sketch. The captain's performance slips again. Although recently I've not been so good at practicing. Lately, when I dream sail, that's all I see. Oh, you're a dream sailor. Captains must be dream sailors. Stranded as we are, it's how we learn to chart the seas. At times, we can also connect with people beyond radio reach. The captain closes her eyes. But lately, all I see is an island. And a strange ship. Deep indigo sails. Neshko and Iris exchange glances. Creative visions. A large abstract Why can't I talk? A large abstract sculpture stands on Captain Edwina's desk. It mostly looks like an unformed lump of clay. Iris reaches out to touch it. Careful, it's tremendously fragile. Iris draws back. Sorry. But, what is it? It's the island. Blank stares. An island I have seen many times. Looks bumpy. The captain frowns. In a good way. Bumps are good. Edwina gazes at the sculpture, unperturbed. I saw something there. She turns to them. In my dreams. Do you believe in ghosts? I hope there are no ghosts. There are people I would not like to meet. They both turn to him. That is, imagine all the hoarders there'd be around. The captain considers the point. Well, don't let the ghost hear you say that. Iris is unsure if they should laugh or not. No news is no news. Sanny is staring out through the window as though searching. Sanny? Sanny turns around, her face full of complex thoughts. Yeah? Any news? Sanny shakes her head and returns to the window. About Mandy, maybe? The next captain. A young person steps out of a shadowy corner of a room, cradling a model ship. Oh! The bleak figure stares at Neshko, somber. Silence fills the room. Iris tugs at their sleeves, looking away. The figure grasps the model ship firmly and narrows their eyes. Captain Edwina breaks the impasse. Not this again. Gertelschraub, come on, throw us a rope here. Gertelschraub? Gertelschraub is the next captain of Sisao. Quite the most accomplished dream sailor of his age. He'll make a good captain, when he learns to lurk less. Gertelschraub sweeps his greasy fringe back angrily, but remains silent. Captain Edwina sighs. Not much of a talker, though. Okay, Gertelschraub. If you're ready to leave, I'll see if we can get you into the radio room. Meet me there? Alright. Radio room. This is what we came here for.
Okay.
Almost paradise. The radio room, full of wires and, radios.
Ooh.
Iris looks around in sheer awe. Light dances in their eyes as they take it all in.
Oh.
This is beautiful. Very thrilling. Signals reaching to the furthest edges of Saltsea. He cringes as a sudden burst of signal strikes the air. Although a little loud, I have to admit. Radio They get flustered and feeling and lose their breath for a second. A network of every mind that wants to communicate. Who cares about the noise? The crackles and scratches from the radios and receivers fill the crowded space with white noise. 3 sleeps to midnight moons on Yaluka, the celebration of the century. Miss it, miss out. Kappa. Stand by for backup. With a steady hand, the child applies screws to a small radio chassis, then turns a dial. Another successful fix. That's a child? Good work, Kappa. Kappa adjusts their glasses and then shakes the woman's hand in a very grown-up manner. Iris turns to Neshko. When I was that age, I could barely turn a radio on. Each of us moves at our own pace. The duo turn their attention back to the room's inhabitants. Excuse me? The woman looks up, smiling. It's, rare for me to meet other, Iris is clearly nervous. Nice to meet you. I'm Paul, but I'm not the lead technician here. They are. Paul points to Kappa, who's confidently turning the nozzle on a large blowtorch. Oh. Kappa turns towards them, then snaps the blowtorch onto a hot blue light. Iris steps back. The flame snaps off. Nice to, meet you. Offering up the broken radio, Iris bows in genuine humility. Can you help us? Kappa snatches it from Iris's hand and turns it over on the bench with their free hand. Easy. Paul watches Kappa inspect the array. Aha! What is it? What did I miss? Paul touches Iris's shoulder gently. Sometimes the fix is not circuits or screws. Kappa leans down and draws out a large rock. Sometimes what's needed is brute force. Before Iris can protest, Kappa bashes the radio a few times with the rock. They then blow hard into a couple of channels, then hand it back. That certainly seems like the way a child would decide to fix something. Sounds about right. Fixed! Neshko laughs, delighted. Iris turns it on, and to their shock, hears a clear, confident signal. Approaching Los Gatos. All hands. Barky barkies. Over. Barky barkies. Kappa dusts off their hands. Over and out. All right. Our radio has been fixed. Captain's cabin. Let's see what we've collected. Radio and rad technology. Sisao's radio room. Eateries and drinkeries. The Sisao prop bar. And Dream Sailors. Captain Edwina. Alright. Now that the radio's been fixed, I don't know, let's see. I think that's a good stopping point, even though there's something to do right here. I think that was a delightful, satisfying end to this tour. So, I'm sure there's a little more tour left, because Sandy's still standing there. But we're going to continue it next time. Until then, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Saltsea Chronicles.